guys, my name is Sierra and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my January wrap-up video. So in the month of January I read 5 books, 4 physical books, and 1 ebook. The 1 ebook I read was 101 Secrets for Your 20s by Paul Angon. It was okay. It was what it sounds like, 101 secrets for 20s, which weren't really secrets. It got kind of preachy at parts, which was okay. But there were some parts that were very funny, and I really did like. So I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars, just because Goodreads doesn't do halves. I would have done like 2.5 out of 5 stars because it was just okay. The next book I read was The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin, and this is a really good book. I participated in Bout of Books, which was at the beginning of this month, and I read this book for one of my books. It was really short to get through. It took me a day and a half because I was kind of in a reading slump. So I did really like this. It was a good little book to get through. So that was one of the books I read. The other book I read for Bout of Books was Lullaby by Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know how to say his name. But this book was amazing. I got it as a gift for my birthday last year from one of my supervisors at work. She said it was her favorite book by Mr. Palahniuk. I'm going to say Palahniuk because it rhymes with book, kind of. I like that. So she gave me this, and I didn't really know what to expect from it, but it was fantastic. It's very supernatural and like witchcrafty and really cool. If you're into that kind of stuff, pick this up. Compared to this, it's a little longer. This is The Westing Game. Compared to that, it's a little longer, and I read this in probably half the time it took me to read The Westing Game, just because it was so good, and it's such a good book. Everyone should read this book. The next book I read was part of another readathon. It was the 24-hour readathon, so I completed this book in one day, which isn't that impressive. I wish I would have done more, but I was really in a reading slump during January. And that was My Drunk Kitchen, A Guide to Eating, Drinking, and Going With Your Gut cookbook by fellow YouTuber Hannah Hart. This book is so fun. It was really like inspirational to have like part autobiography, part humor, part kind of cookbook. It was really fun. I love Hannah Hart and My Drunk Kitchen. So I was really happy that I finally got around to reading this. It was so fun to read. It was an easy read. I read it in a couple hours. So this is the 4th book I read this month. And the reason I only got around to reading 5 books this month is because I was working on reading A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, book 1, and A Song of Ice and Fire series. And this book was amazing. The book was so good. I read it on recommendation of 2 of the people I work with. So it was really fun because every time I got further in the book, they would ask me where I was, and they'd be able to talk about it every couple of chapters. So it's really, really good if you guys like fantasy, and especially if you haven't seen the show and don't know what happens, because I went in completely blind. I really suggest you check it out. It took me a while to get into it. The first couple hundred pages, it took me like a couple weeks to really get into it, but I flew through the second half of this book in like a week maybe. It was so good. So I can't wait to start on a Clash of Kings next. Hopefully I'll have that in my February wrap up. So those are all the books I read in January. Thank you so much for watching. If you read any of these books, tell me what you thought about them. If you want any more details about any of these books, let me know, and I'll make a more detailed wrap-up video about a specific book, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and leave me comments about what books you read in January. I'd love to know. Bye!